Tyler from Aspire Sports, and we had some breaking news last night with Travis Etienne suffering a mid-foot sprain and leaving the game in a walking boot / air cast. So let's talk about what the outlook is for him, where you should be drafting him in your drafts, and also let's talk about James Robinson. So the first thing here, let's talk about Travis Etienne, who had the mid-foot sprain, and we have Stephania Bell say that the timeline for these kind of injuries can vary. Also, if you guys don't follow him, Jesse Morris, he's really good. He has Fantasy Doctors, a YouTube channel where he breaks down the injuries and tells you how long to expect these athletes out for, because he does a lot of work on athletes. So those two guys, well, Stephania, a woman, they're very good follows if you guys don't follow them already. So highly recommend it. Basically, if we remember back to last year, I'm no doctor, okay, but if we remember back to last year, we have Joe Mixon, mid-foot sprain. He was out for basically the whole season. Then we have Miles Sanders. He had a mid-foot sprain. He missed, I believe, 4 weeks. And then Chris Carson missed 4 weeks. So probably 4 weeks is really the minimum of what we're looking at, with the possibility of more. So how should we treat this situation? Well, best case scenario, Travis Etienne is going to come back in like week 2 or 3, maybe week 1. I doubt week 1, but maybe like 2 or 3. And where should you draft Travis Etienne if he returns during that time frame? Well, right now, he deserved to be ranked a lot lower. I mean, I was pretty high on Travis Etienne, but after watching preseason, it has you concerned, obviously, for his workload, because he's the third running back in this offense now, definitely behind James Robinson, Carlos Hyde. I expected him to not take over, but be much more involved in this offense as the season progresses. But now with him missing time, I feel safe drafting him around like the A.J. Dillon, David Johnson. So like the back end of RB number 30s is really where I would want to take him. And I'd still probably take like A.J. Dillon over him. But once you get to these guys like David Johnson, James Conner, Devin Singletary is where I'd feel good about taking him. But there could be a possibility where he starts the year on PUP list, right? And he's missing the first 6 weeks. And then this also a guy who is the third running back on the team. So you have to decide what you want to do, what are the risks you want to take. I do think that there is a lot of potential with Travis Etienne, but do we see that this upcoming season? Possibly more next season, especially with this injury now. So there's a lot of potential, and he has the first-round draft grade that we like to see. In college, he was extremely productive, very good as a pass-catching back. But right now, this is where I would put him. I'd put him as the late 30s is where I would feel comfortable drafting him. Definitely after your other rookies like Michael Carter, Trey Sermon, Javonte Williams. He would be the last rookie I would want to take right now. So let's talk about James Robinson. James Robinson was moving up for me. I currently would view him as like a top 25 running back. That's if Travis Etienne comes back, like say weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that range. For me, he's like RB number 25. I would still want Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds over him, but I would move down Kareem Hunt, move down Mike Davis, move down Travis Etienne, and I would put him right around like RB number 25 currently. Now, if Travis Etienne does start the year on PUP, and there is concern that he's going to miss a lot more time than just like your 4 weeks, 6 weeks, then for me, James Robinson jumps into the top 20 as a running back, because there is a lot of potential on a team that wants to run the football. This team wants to run the football. He's going to be involved, especially around the goal line. This team should be decent compared to what they were last year, like better, but how much better? I don't think a whole lot better, but they should be better. And we already saw James Robinson produce a top 10 fantasy season on the league's worst NFL team. So there's a lot of potential with James Robinson, but I'm not going to go too crazy. And if reports come out that he does start on PUP, that's Travis Etienne, then he'd be a borderline top 20 pick for me. He'd be right there with Miles Sanders for me. And then a guy like Carlos Hyde does become viable in redraft leagues. In redraft leagues, he would be drafted, especially if you have Travis Etienne miss extended a period of time, then yes, I do believe Carlos Hyde should be drafted, because he's still going to be utilized in this offense. And if anything were to happen to James Robinson, he now becomes the de facto number 1 running back in this offense. So he's somebody to keep your eye on as well. So with that being said, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I'll answer any questions you have. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.